Yes, oil is the number one traded commodity. It's not the number one traded item, but the reality is crude petroleum only makes up 3.82% of the global economy. When you add in refining, it rounds out to about 5%. So 5% of the global economy is in oil products. What do you think the other 95% is still traded in? It's US dollars. 88% of the global economy is traded in US dollars. And even if the US loses access to this so-called petrodollar, the 5% of the global economy that is traded in crude oil, you still have 95% of everything else being bought in US dollars because 88% of the global economy is traded in US dollars. And this argument, this oil argument, always forgets that the US is the number one producer of oil in the world. It may not be the number one exporter because we largely keep a lot of our oil domestically, but the reality is fluctuating oil prices across the globe don't impact the US as much because we're so internalized, because we are the largest producer of oil in the world, period, end of story. So even if the US loses access to the 5% of the global economy that is oil, that remaining 95% will be traded by a vast majority in US dollars because, as I've said, 88% of the global economy is traded in US dollars, and oil is not going to not be traded in dollars complete, or oil is going to have some portion of it traded in dollars because the US is a major producer and a major exporter of oil, period. So this idea that if we stop paying for oil in US dollars, the US dollar is going to just collapse is utter nonsense. Utter nonsense. Again, 5% of the global economy is oil. Everyone is paying for the remaining 95% still in US dollars. That's it, period.